Hi, everyone, and welcome to We Are a Crotchety Old Man,
And a woman.
the podcast for you, with you, and sometimes even about you. That song actually was from our new content advisor, CJO. That's the name he's given himself for now, and he's working on creating some songs for us. So that was his first one that he did. How you doing, Abigail?
I'm doing pretty good, Arden.
Abigail, you say you're Italian.
I am.
Have you ever had an Italian beef sandwich?
No.
Well, it is National Italian Beef Sandwich Day. I also have never had one. I never heard of an Italian beef sandwich. I actually thought it was sort of like a French dip or maybe a steak and cheese, that from Philly or something like that. But it's not. It's actually it's a sandwich that is thin roast beef with cherried peppers and some other pickled vegetables put on it. It's served on French bread with anjou.
I just stick with pasta. Pasta.
With pizza stickers. Yeah, well, I can understand that. So, for anyone who is wants to try some, if you're in Chicago, you get your deep dish pizza and your Italian beef sandwich. We had another surprise with our international listeners. I guess we got our Australian fan back, as well as our few fans in England. Thank you so much. And we had one from Argentina as well. So we were just growing very slowly. So if you know anyone and you like our show, feel free to share because we really want to get somebody in every continent at least. Well, maybe not Antarctica, that'll be tough. So right now it's time for our history lesson. And I'm actually dedicating the first one to our English fans. In 1660, King Charles II was invited by the English Commonwealth to assume the throne after 11 years of military rule. You've probably heard of the name Oliver Cromwell.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Oliver Cromwell actually took over as he was the head of the military, kind of a coup of Charles I, and he actually executed Charles the First, excuse me, in uh, January of 1649. And then there was 11 years of military rule. The Commonwealth fell apart. There was a lot of problems, and Scotland had been keeping King Charles II safe, and they brought him back in. And General George Monarch met with Charles and said, if you agree to an amnesty for all religious people as well as the military, we would like you to be back on the throne. And he agreed. So a little history, and the reason I say that is because a little bit later we might talk about the King Charles's painting. I don't know about that one. Meanwhile, in 1787 was the first meeting of the U.S. Constitutional Convention in Pennsylvania.
This is very interesting because I never knew this.
Yeah, so most people do not know that prior to the U.S. Constitutional Convention in 1787, prior to that, we were under the Articles of Confederation, and in fact, John Hanson, you probably don't never heard of that name,
No.
by some people is actually called the first president of the United States of America because he was the first president under the Articles of Confederation.
Interesting.
So from right after the revolution ended in 1781, everyone immediately thinks George Washington was president. He wasn't. At this convention in 1787, so 6 years later, he was actually elected president by the convention. And there's a whole thing of what would his title be, His Royal Highness, the Grand. He had a whole bunch of titles. I don't even want to talk about them because I could be wrong. But there was many others. In fact, after John Hanson, 14 other people held the title of president in different, because it was only for a month here, a month there, including Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin. And what the whole idea of this was, there was started to be problems because Congress didn't have the actual authority or the right to actually raise money. They couldn't tax. It was written that they could, but it was never written how they could. There was a problem with states' rights. There was a problem. So this convention actually took care of all that, which brought us our true constitution as it is now. So, very important day in the United States. Then you go all the way to 1935. 1935, Babe Ruth hit his final home run, and he was a member of. Do you know who his last team was, Abigail?
I guess it wasn't the Yankees.
It was not the Yankees.
I mean, so I don't know.
He was a member of the National League's Boston Braves, which are now the Atlanta Braves. Pretty fascinating.
Wow.
So, and he actually wanted to be the manager, and when he was not offered the manager job of the Boston Braves, he quit. A little fascinating tidbit. In 1961, JFK asked Congress for money and support to start the space programs. Kind of important. I'm hoping we start doing a lot more of that and investing in NASA, because we really do it. Really need to get back out there.
The next thing is all things Arden.
It is. In 1977, one little boy became a complete and total nerd. Was the day May 5th, 25th. Oh, I'm all over. I'm so nervous. It was such a great day. Star Wars opened. And in 1979, here's the name. This person is known for something, but no one knows his name. Eaton Patz was the first. He was a 6-year-old boy, and he was the first little boy to be put on a milk carton. And now they no longer do that. But
I wonder if they found him.
I have no idea. I'm going to actually look that up for next week.
Need to.
And then in 2020, a day that just changed our country forever, George Floyd died, which started massive protests. And I'm not going to go into detail about that, but it changed everything for a while.
A lot of people, basically.
So that's all I got for this day in history. Abigail, there's some good sports going on. What do you got?
Well, I don't have too much to report this week. Wayne, you watched the XFL today. How did that go?
Good. We're in the Final Four. Even though the season isn't over, we know the 4 teams. It's the Birmingham Stallions, I forgot the team from Michigan Panthers, the Battlehawks from St. Louis, and the San Antonio Brahmas, which are named after the Brahma bull, which I think I talked about this earlier in the year. The Brahma bulls are an actual animal, and it's also the nickname of The Rock, that he's the Brahma bull. So he named a team after his nickname. Well, they won today. They beat the Birmingham Stallions. The Stallions had a 15-game winning streak, and it finally ended. So they will not be undefeated. I don't know if the Miami Dolphins, the 72 Miami Dolphins, even cheer about that, because no team can go undefeated besides them. What else is going on in sports?
Well, I mean, the Rangers tied up the series, but they're just getting lucky in some cases.
It's exciting. And then the Final Four. By the way, so Mr. N, who is a huge New Jersey Devil fan, this is strictly for you. 30 years ago today, Mark Messier scored the hat trick after predicting the Rangers would win. And last night I felt that way. The kid, Rempe, I might get a jersey of him. I mean, He was expected to play 6 minutes. He played twice as long. He played like 12 minutes. With 1 minute left in a tie game, they put Rempe on the ice. Like the guy was just smacking people all over. Oh, it was great. It was great.
Well, we're hoping for another Ranger win tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, and I could have a triple overtime and not have to worry about going to bed. I was exhausted last night.
So, here's my update on my girl Caitlin Clark. Overall, they finally got a win, the Indiana Fever last night.
Woo, go Fever!
She didn't score a ton of points, but they were very important points out of the 11 points. She had 2 3-pointers in the last few seconds that made the difference in the game, and they won. But what was really highlighted was her change in rebounding. She's getting a lot more rebounds, and her assists remain very strong. But I must say, her fellow teammates sometimes get beautiful passes, and then they just can't make a standard layup. So they got to work on that.
There's a reason they came in dead last year.
Exactly. So I have a question for you, Arden.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
So there's already sports people predicting who's going to win the Super Bowl with the NFL. So what 5 teams are they saying, quote, have it all to become a potential contender to win the Super Bowl?
Okay, this is going to be tough because I will be guessing after Kansas City.
Yes, Kansas City. Kansas City's one.
I will guess because they keep saying it every year. The Buffalo Bills. Oh, Philadelphia.
Not at all.
The Miami Dolphins.
No.
The Washington D.C. Defenders.
No.
Okay, I have no idea.
All right. I mean,
I really don't know.
You don't remember who the NFC champs were?
I
believe it was the 49ers.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't follow.
Wrong. But anyway,
don't follow football.
They're picking the Ravens.
Of course.
And who has the most ugliest quarterback in the league?
Rude.
He is ugly.
That's insensitive.
And then the Texans. Isn't that coming out of left field? Isn't that?
I have no idea.
And then they say if Aaron Rodgers does pull it off and can come back
of course,
in the way he was, the Jets are in the 5. No. They are.
Well, yeah, the Jets will never win the Super Bowl. they just won't ever. Okay, like I mean, it's been 53 years or 54 and counting since they were in the Super Bowl. I don't know. So what else have we got in sports? Anything else?
That's about it. I'll have more next week.
Okay, so it's that time. It's the time where it's Ask Abigail a Question. Ooh, so what did we come up with this week? So this week I actually got a suggestion.
I hope I know what the hell he's talking about.
So this week I got a question from someone who used to live in New York. Abigail, what are your thoughts of Donald Trump going to the Bronx to give a speech in what people would say is enemy territory? First of all, did you watch it? How was it? I actually only watched like 5 minutes of it. And I was more interested in the crowd reaction. But what are your thoughts about that?
I only saw part of it. But of course, it was awesome. You know, the man has so much charisma. He's funny. But more importantly, he knows a lot about policy. But him going to the Bronx was sticking it in AOC's face. Because I believe that's her district, isn't it?
It is part of her district.
Yeah, and he drew a big crowd and a lot of African American support. And I think it took a lot of guts for him to go into the Bronx and do that, because he could have only had 10 people show up and that would have been embarrassing. But it was a packed house.
And the protests were small. Like, I thought there would be, like, if he had 10,000 people, I thought there would be 30,000 protesters. But they were relatively small. And,
I mean, he's really making a play for New York, which, you know, part of me says maybe he's wasting his time. But I just love the fact that he went into AOC's territory and basically drew a crowd that she would never get.
Right. And she's so mad. She is so
Is
mad.
she mad?
She is mad.
She's always mad.
She's always mad. Well, that's all right.
So that's all I got. I mean, he just needs to keep fighting.
Okay. All right. That was a
And
good
you can
answer.
say what you want about him, but he's a fighter.
Good. Okay. We like your answer. We like your answer. So did you have some other things for you wrote a lot down in your about things that you wanted to talk about.
Well, you had a couple questions to talk about, didn't you?
Oh, well, if only if you want, but okay. But before I do that, I would like to give a thank you to Daniel and Alfred, who are actually helping my mom out today because I didn't even know that they're going to be, and they're actually going to be doing some physical labor for my mom, who's 87 years old up in New Jersey. So I wanted to thank them today for helping her out. But so going back to that King Charles picture, the red picture that's all red that makes him look very, it looks like a demon. I didn't know what your thoughts are.
Isn't it? I only briefly saw it, but it's like 3D, isn't it?
And
The
sort
way
of.
it's painted.
So it's just all red, and he's wearing his red uniform in the red, and it's
Yeah, but so who made it? Did he commission it, or did somebody just paint it?
yeah, it was some guy named hold on, I actually have this here, believe it or not. Hold on, hold my horse. It was actually by Jonathan Yo, who actually did that. And King Charles approved it. He liked it.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty
Well, yeah,
interesting.
it's kind of sad. Doesn't he have prostate cancer?
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know if it's been disclosed. I mean,
That's just bad. If you have prostate cancer,
yeah, and the whole family's falling apart, so it's pretty
yeah.
sad. So, and in other, speaking of people who are getting the shaft, um, that was rude. Um, did you see the thing about the Graceland?
No.
So, supposedly, Priscilla Presley, who died recently, um, that this company, and it may be a scam, is saying that she actually took a loan for over $3 million and never paid it back. And because of that, they want to buy Graceland, and that it was going to go to auction. Her Priscilla Presley, Elvis Presley's granddaughter, said she never took a loan, that she has no documentation.
Mm-hmm.
The company that gave out the loan doesn't have a website, doesn't have a phone number, and she said there is no such place. And they're saying, yes, that we are real, and they have documentation. So they're going to a lawsuit. They're having all these experts come in to look at this company's quote unquote documentation to see if this happened. But it came to this. It made me just think of my mom. Like how many elderly people are being taken. It's something like it's so easy to lose your home, and you see that commercial all the time. So I didn't know if you had any input on it and how scary it is.
That is scary. I mean, this world with scammers, they can all go just, I can't say it online, but they can just stuff it.
Oh,
But,
stuff it. That's what.
So Arden, we have a new category for the podcast,
Oh, I'm ready.
and that is odd things that are in the news. I think you had a couple of them.
I do. So only two for now. So this one I actually thought was pretty interesting. You may have seen it on the news itself. In Kyle, Texas, they tried to throw and try to break the record for most people with the same name in the same location. So in Kyle, Texas, they had over 706 people named Kyle come there. They weren't even close to the record. The record is currently in Bosnia, where over 2,325 people named Ivan came there, and so that's the record. I wonder if there's actually 2,326 Waynes out there, or Abigails, because that'd be interesting.
It is interesting.
The other interesting thing was in Indiana, a judge granted a there was a restaurant that wanted to open in this plaza, but the plaza had some unique restrictions to restaurants. Restaurants had to be sandwich or bars.
Hmm.
This guy wanted to open a taco restaurant, and he owns another taco restaurant before, so he went in front of the judge and has been granted that tacos and burritos are now also considered Mexican style sandwiches. So enjoy your taco sandwich. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, Arden, you like baseball, right?
I do.
So you like statistics.
I like statistics. Not the new ones
So,
though, but I do like them.
so I came across an article that was titled "When America Was Great, According to the Data."
Uh-oh. All right.
All right. So they looked at different categories. And when you compare Republicans to Democrats, it's pretty obvious, but we'll go ahead and go through a couple.
Okay.
So when you look at when people considered that there were close-knit communities,
Right.
the Republicans peaked in the 1950s,
Yep.
whereas the Democrats peaked in the 1990s.
Okay.
And those were the Bill Clinton years, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then when you look at happiest families, again, the Republicans peaked in the 1950s, but the Dems didn't peak until the 2000s.
Oh, that's interesting. Really?
Yeah. And then the least amount of crime, according to Republicans, was in the 1950s again.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, the Dems think there's not less crime in the 2020s. So,
Really?
yeah, they don't look at it that way.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, most moral society, what do you think? I think it's going to be the same trend.
The 1950s.
The 1950s versus the 2000s. Now, most politically divided, the 1980s for the Republicans, and those were the Reagan years.
Was the most divided?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Not right now?
I'm sorry, wait a minute. I got that backwards. Sorry.
Okay.
The least political division was in the 1980s for the Republicans.
Uh-huh.
Again, the Reagan years.
Yep.
And then 1990s for the Democrats.
You know, that makes sense because think about it. In the 90s, you actually had divided government,
Mm-hmm.
but it was I think maybe it was definitely the last time where they actually had a balanced budget actually went through.
And wasn't the Great New Deal between Gingrich and
the sides came together. The left came into the middle and the right came into the middle, and yeah, that's true. And even back in the day, in the 80s, they talk about Reagan and Tip O'Neill, being able to hang out together. So yeah, I mean it's all gone. I mean now that and I think the biggest blame is 24-hour news cycle.
I have always said that. CNN started it with, just straight informational news and headline news.
Right.
That's what they called it. And then, of course, it expanded and expanded.
Right.
And because of the 24-hour, 7-day-a-week political coverage, it's just led to so much division in this country.
And the other part of it is it's entertainment value. You have to get an audience. So if everyone is saying the same stories the same way, you don't need a CNN or a Fox or a Newsmax or all of the others. So they have to take a different stand and then the people listening follow different opinions. And it's fascinating. So what I listen to, I know other people who don't know the same thing I know, and vice versa. So I could see why.
All right.
Yeah, more stats. You weren't gonna tell. I was hoping for game-winning RBIs.
I don't even know that you call it statistics, but it was just interesting to look at some of the data that basically life was ideal for Republicans in the 1950s, and for the Dems it's ideal right now. Or in the 2000s.
In the 2000s.
No, the 2020s. Sorry.
The 2020s. So that was 2020s.
Sorry.
Or the 2000s.
The 2000s.
2000. Okay, so that's when Barack Obama became president. Yeah. I mean, just different times, different thoughts. Anyway, um, so how much time do we have? So, because I actually had a couple other things for you, I think. Oh, I wanted to see.
And I get to do the closing statement.
All right, all right. Well, I did want to ask you your thoughts. Now, what are your thoughts going back to sports on an 18 game NFL season?
I think it's about money,
Right.
obviously. And I just don't see the need to add another week. It's just more money. It's the greed of the NFL, and I just don't think it's necessary.
Well, there was one interesting thought to that because they were saying how the now that the Super Bowl would be pushed back into later in February, where the Super Bowl could be on President's Day weekend, so that everybody could be off on that Monday. Not everybody,
Not
obviously,
everyone. I
not
wouldn't
everyone,
have the day off.
but most people would have. Not even most, probably. It's probably only half. All federal
It's mainly
government
the
employees.
federal
The
government.
federal government would have off so that they could have those games. They could put them possibly even later at night so they can get more audience and people would actually stay up to watch the games. People would go out to bars more for that. So that was one of my thoughts. Anything else today?
Well, I think we need to, continue from last week. It was moving week for Arden into Abigail's house, and
Yes.
I must say, I took off on Monday to take care of some family things, and took off Wednesday, the day of the move. So I decided to take Tuesday off to go touch up Arden's place for the move. I get there, and he just tells me it's only little things that are left. Well, I packed for 6 straight hours, and I guess I want to make sure Arden understands that I was horrified when you said that.
By the way, little things for me are just like kind of just throw everything in a bag. Little things for Abigail is every single thing had to be wrapped individually. Everything had to be measured in the box. Man, I just threw all of my little shits in boxes and just said, done. It was pretty, two different opposing
Right,
styles.
but it saved you on the move with the movers because everything was nice, packed, and ready to go.
Yes. And now I'm exhausted.
Yes, you are, and now he's currently unpacking. He's creating his man cave in the basement. I gave him the whole basement.
We're going to be doing our podcast from the man cave. Everyone loves that idea. The podcast from the man cave. My man cave has a bar. It's got a coffee maker. It's got the big TV. It's got it all.
Yeah,
So
reclining sofas.
reclining sofas. That is where you want. So if feel free, reach out to us. Maybe we can have a bunch of people here and we could do the podcast with them. So everyone, thank you for
No, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not. Oh, she ain't done.
So Arden
Woo.
is, basically committed to unpacking for this 3-day weekend. And I have a favor to ask of him, and I'm going to ask it live
Do I have to rub your
put more
feet?
pressure. No,
Okay.
I really am interested in a new bedroom set. And I
Ah,
know he doesn't want to leave the house, but because I'm trying to sell my old furniture, I kind of need to make a decision. So I'm hopeful that we can take a little break tomorrow and run out to my favorite furniture store, Bob's,
Bob's.
and take a look at this set. It'll only take 10 minutes, and then we make the decision. So that's the favor I'm asking of Arden, and he's looking at me funny.
Well, I actually wanted to let you know that my mom is a fan of Bob's. That's where she got her reclining old lady chair. So she's very happy with it. So she would go to Bob's with you, but I will go because that's what super boyfriends do. And I'll go to Bob's, but I have no clue. This is between me and the audience. I have no clue. I'll be like, yeah, that looks good. That looks good.
All you have to do is say that the flooring, I'm bringing a piece of flooring, won't go with the furniture.
Yeah, I'll say that goes with the furniture. And she'd be like, I haven't even gotten there yet. She's like, you're looking at the guy's desk where he's working. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do that.
Okay.
This bathroom looks nice. I'll sit over here.
I think we can sign off. There'll be 1,000,000 beds and sofas you can sit on. So,
I'm gonna test them all.
and they have, because it's a grand opening, they got free like cappuccinos and
All right. Do they have free
fresh
pretzels?
baked cookies, and
Ah,
I even grabbed a free
yeah.
T-shirt.
Oh, we're also going to be starting our, you know how everyone starts their New Year's resolution? Well, we're starting our Memorial Day resolution of losing weight together. So that's going to be fun. So we're going to
Yeah,
be having our special drink. What's our special drink?
it's called the Bushwhacker.
And what's in it?
Everything.
Oh,
It's like a chocolate milkshake in the end, but it's got a lot of alcohol. I picked it up in St. Thomas, and now I'm trying to master making it at home.
yeah. So we got a lot of bushwhackers. We had one last night. Abigail is learning to make them, and every attempt has gotten. It was so good last night. Didn't taste like the one we had in St. Thomas.
Pretty close.
Pretty close, but it's amazing how good it is. You don't taste the alcohol, but you feel it 10 minutes later. It was really good. So, you wanted to do the farewell tonight?
No.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everyone. Feel free to share your stories at we are a crotchety old man at gmail.com. We are a crotchety old man at gmail and a woman, excuse me, .com. On X and Twitter, which we actually did get a bunch of responses from that I have replied to. That's at crotchety old man, at crotchety old man. Yeah, feel free. And our people overseas, thanks, and tell people that we wanted to speak to them some more.